Hi, my name is Andrew Links, and this is the first of several guides to synthesizers for musicians. I don't mean to sound elitist when I use the phrase for musicians. This is really for anyone who's interested. I just mean that many professional musicians have the facility and technical chops on their instruments already. But sound creation, on the other hand, has its roots in electrical engineering and audio production, something not always taught at a conservatory level. Essentially, we're going to be looking at learning all the technical know-how through a gigging musician lens. Today we're going to be talking about timbres. This video is the first step of basic reductive synthesis, essentially starting with the sound via oscillation, and then in the next video, reducing its harmonic content with filters. Whether you are using a VST and a DAW like Logic, Cubase, or Reaper, or a hardware, which includes everything from the microKORG to the Prophet 12. The first step to creating sound is through using oscillators. Oscillators are circuits that maintain a regular voltage pattern that, when routed properly to an amplifier, create sound at a particular frequency measured in hertz. So when you tune to the A above middle C, A equals 440, that's 440 hertz, which is 440 vibrations a second, regularly creating this A sound we know. On any software or hardware synth, you will find a panel that contains the oscillators, the number of which depends on what you're using, so we will focus on only one oscillator at a time right now. Each oscillator has the capability of generating waveforms, including sine waves, sawtooth waves, square waves, triangle waves, noise, and possibly some custom waveforms. We won't get into that right now as it's kind of a case-by-case basis. Let's start with the sine wave. It is the fundamental. It is the only sound that consists of only one frequency. Next, let's go in the opposite direction with the sawtooth wave. It includes the fundamental as well as all other harmonic overtones. All of them. Theoretically speaking, it should contain all harmonics. The other waves, triangle and square, contain odd harmonics only. The fundamental hertz multiplied by 3, 5, 7, etc. The difference between them is that the square wave is buzzier and richer in harmonic content because the harmonics are louder relative to the fundamental frequency and have a greater impact on the timbre of the sound. White noise is essentially all frequencies at equal levels of volume. So to put this into a simpler perspective, we move from a pure sound to a buzzier sound, with various gradations and colors between. Another important note is that within this oscillator bank, you will have the option of changing its tuning in cents or steps. Now that we have an introduction to the palette of sounds we can create with just one oscillator, let's listen to possible creations with two. This is, for me, where synthesis becomes a really creative and exciting endeavor, because if we've heard all the things we can do with just one, many synths can have up to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 12 sometimes, and in case of the Prophet 12, 60. The sky's the limit, pretty much. You can 3, 4, 5, 6, all doing different kind of sounds with different gradations of color, and they all mix. And you can kind of be really creative in how you explore the creation of sound as well as how you use it within music. So before we hear some of these possible combinations, I'd like to thank you all for watching this video. If you liked the video, please leave a like and a comment. If there are any questions, I'll try to answer them as soon as I can and point you toward the other resources that could be of help. If you like this series, then be sure to subscribe, as I have a lot more of these lined up. Say, for example, you had a sawtooth wave. And then the other oscillator, you tune down an octave with another sawtooth wave. Pretty much instant beef. Except maybe let's make one a little sharper than the other. We'll give it a nice kind of rub. square wave, right? Just take a normal square wave, and then let's hear that by itself. And then let's add a sine wave, tuned down an octave and a little lower in the mix for some added punch. You can have two sine waves. Let's tune one up to a fifth. For some like bizarre whammy pedal-like effects. If your synth has an FX bank, it might be time to throw in some distortion. Or run your setup through a pedal board through an amp. Take this as a challenge. Like I said, the sky's the limit here, and with two oscillators we can do a lot. In the words of Igor Stravinsky, the more constraints one imposes, the more one frees oneself, and the arbitrariness of the constraint serves only to obtain precision of execution. So rather than using presets, try using your own synth to see what kind of sounds you can generate using just two oscillators running at the same time. In the next video, we will be applying filters to these sounds to generate more subtle and more exaggerated harmonic gradations. By the way, here is a video demonstrating the construction of these waves with independent sine waves, something called additive synthesis.
Action.